You die once and suddenly you're not invisible. Explore the story of Heed, who was a corpse for a while but is back to life and trying to learn about just what had happened, only to discover the story is far stranger than that. Inspired by manga, Alter X Artifact is a new LGBTQ+ webcomic for mature readers revolving around magic and political espionage. This comic features fantastic elements, gripping storytelling, and impressive visuals that pull you into the strange but fascinating world of the comic. Alter X Artifact explores themes of magic, dreams, and relationships, all while deftly weaving a compelling mystery with eye-catching visuals. You're still in time to enjoy the exciting prologue as well, but you gotta hurry over on to the website. So, if you're looking for your next weekly webcomic read, you need to go to alterxartifact.com. That is alterxartifact.com. Now back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Supernatural Selection. I'm your host, Kevin the Bastard. With me this week is Mike the Skeptic. Mike, how you doing?
Well, it's better to be Mike the Skeptic than Mike the Septic.
Ooh, man. Do you mean like sepsis or like a septic tank?
Well, they're both. They basically mean the same thing, right?
Sure. I mean, I had my leg go septic, sorta, so, or whatever, so I guess I technically had a septic tank in my leg. That's fun.
Yes. I didn't know how to respond to that.
Yeah,
I knew
know
about it, but I just...
Yeah, just knock that right out of your fucking head. All right, and we do not have David with us this week. He is currently under the weather. We miss you, buddy. I got a story right up front. By the way, this is the Weekend Weird. And Mike and I have combed the internet in a frantic attempt to find some news. And do you mind if I go first?
Sure.
Because my first one, David's going to hate not being on this one. I know you're listening right now, David. So this one's for you. Is, of course, from MysteriousUniverse.org, Paul Seaburn, my doppelganger. This came out April 7th, 2023. First case of a man infected by a plant-killing fungus. Is The Last of Us? Is this The Last of Us? The Last of Us is a popular apocalyptic science fiction series centered around the spread of an unusual fungus which infects humans and turns them into zombies. While many novels, movies, and series have used a mass infection or pandemic as their plot, from the Andromeda strain to outbreak to infection, The Last of Us appears to be the first to use a fungus jumping from a plant to humans. That may be because it is biologically rare for pathogens to jump from plants to humans. Until now. A man in India visited a health clinic with symptoms that made the doctors think they could easily diagnose their cause until they analyzed pus from a sore in his throat and discovered a fungal presence. Tests showed it came from a plant fungus. Did the man survive? Is The Last of Us now a documentary series? Oh shit, it's Silverleaf.
Yeah, it's a rose fungus.
Yeah.
And in fact, when we're doing... I had this tab open when... well, a different version of this news story, but I had it open when we were doing that episode, and I just never found a way to slide it in.
Oh, I totally would have. Like when David was talking about how it was a possibility, I would have been like, excuse me.
Well, I mean, I think I'd forgotten by
some
point, but I had it, and I'd thought of it.
Oh, the patient, a plant mycologist by profession, was working with decaying materials, mushrooms and various plant fungi for a long time as part of his research activities. And it's his continued exposure that may have been the cause of it. So isn't that fun?
Yeah, well, be careful.
Yeah. Wear a goddamn mask or something. So, what do you think about that?
I mean...
last week scared the shit out of me as far as, fungus murder. And now this happens.
Well, unless you're like huffing, this fungus,
You don't know what I'm doing.
you don't have much of a issue. But yeah, I mean, he didn't die or anything, so
Yeah, that's fair. He didn't
figured out what
die.
it was.
Of course, this being
Oh, and
mysterious.
this isn't recent either. This was 2 years ago.
Oh, shit.
Well, I mean, the news stories went around obviously this year because
Yes.
of The Last of Us, but he was clear as of 2 years.
2 years ago,
Well,
he
he
was fine.
caught it 2 years ago, and to this day, he's still clear of it.
Oh, good. Okay. That's good to know. I just, I think it's funny that it really hit the news cycle like the day after we recorded. Everybody
Yeah.
starts sending me this link, and I'm like, you sons of bitches.
And also it like hit the news cycle after The Last of Us had ended
Yes.
this season. You think of when the first episode, this would have made its rounds.
Yeah, you would have thought, but also just Mysterious Universe, of course. I'm not going to read the rest of the article because it's shockingly long, but it is very sensationalistic. It's very much because, like, the very last image is a picture of the Grim Reaper in front of a mushroom cloud.
That's why also the tale was recounted in this month, which is March. In March's issue of the Medical
Mycologist.
Medical Mycology Case Reports.
That I did not know that was a thing, and how boring. David probably has a subscription.
Oh, he probably eats that shit with a spoon.
And that's why he's out right now. He's infected with a fungus. No, actually, I think he's got a cold. That's not funny. So, but yeah, no, I love it's got a picture of a fucking nuclear mushroom cloud with the Grim Reaper standing in front of it. And I'm like, way to play it down, guys.
Well, that's your copy. Mike, the copy I had, and it's still looking at again, is just had a picture of mushrooms on a tree stump.
Well, again, you're on a news site. I am on
Gizmodo.
I still
Not much of a news site.
Yeah, but it's not Mysterious Universe,
Yes.
which is like, we're all going to die. Find out how. So, yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. Like, right after we did the episode, look what's making the rounds. So, what have you got?
So when you think of a T-Rex, what do you think of? Well, how's it look? How's its face look?
Honestly, now most people are going to say like Jurassic Park with the big teeth and then in the eyes. I kind of picture like, we've discovered dinosaurs have feathers, right?
Yeah.
I just picture like it covered in poofy feathers, so it just looks like a baby chicken with like a little bit of a beak sticking out. I think they're just adorable.
Well, but the traditional thing is, these big, the kind of crocodile-looking mouth,
with the
teeth sticking out and everything. Well, according to a study published, this is Thursday, but this was in March, but published in March in the journal Science, the dinosaur, at least T-Rexes may have had lips.
Oh, God.
Not like big pouty lips, but, something more similar to like a Komodo dragon.
Oh.
Kind of scaly.
Yeah. I saw a picture of that, actually.
Yeah.
And it doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would, except in some of the pictures where it just kind of looks...
Looks like he's going to gum you.
Yeah, it's like geriatric dinosaur coming after you. Which, I mean... Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
They found like patterns of wear on the teeth that are
From lips.
that are consistent with having lips. And I think when you don't have lips, your teeth will wear out a lot quicker. 'Cause they're not
Yes.
protected, which
Yes.
is why you would, I guess, evolutionarily
Develop
gain
lips. Yeah.
not just for smiling and kissing.
Yes, and I'm just picturing Mick Jagger lips on it.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious to me. If we've got anybody that's so inclined that's a listener, please head to our Discord and post a picture of Mick Jagger Tyrannosaurus.
Just kissy mouth.
Just-
Dinosaurs. He's just taking
duck
selfies
face.
all the time. Yeah.
Just duck-faced dinosaur. Not to be confused with a duckbill dinosaur.
No.
But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting we're discovering all this neat stuff about dinosaurs now.
So T-Rexes now had lips, were covered in feathers. Yeah, they're just kind of weird birds.
It kind of sounds a little bit like it could have been on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Maybe. It's fabulous.
As far as I know, it's delightful.
Turns out T-Rex really wasn't that aggressive, and just like,
Well, there's been some theory for a long time that they were scavengers. Which I kind of feel like it probably did both.
Yeah,
I don't think an animal like that would turn down a meal wherever.
No,
so
most animals don't, unless it's like, I think if it's very rotted, then that's kind of the area of specialized carrion eaters.
Which I'm curious what dinosaur was probably like a carrion eater. The Hobosaurus or something,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm fascinated by the idea of what the dinosaur vulture was. Like, what is the turkey buzzardosaurus? If you know, please contact us and let us know. I hate to keep throwing that out there, but I don't know. I'm interested.
Yeah.
So we're kind of burning through these quick, so I'm glad I've got a two-parter here.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I was looking in strange news on the AP website, and I found one and then the sequel.
Yes. I saw those too.
Okay. Arizona Dairy Queen on the hunt for missing red spoon statue, which, if it's an inanimate object, isn't it just a giant whatever the inanimate object is?
I mean...
it's not really a statue of a spoon. It's just a giant spoon.
It is a representation of a spoon because it's not actually meant for eating.
But it could be usable if there were a human big enough.
I don't know if it was made of, concrete or something.
Yeah, at that point, it doesn't matter because you're big enough to use it. Also, where would you get that much ice cream?
The Dairy Queen.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. So, Phoenix, AP. The owners of a Dairy Queen in Phoenix remain perplexed and slightly amused as to why someone would steal the giant red spoon that adorned their restaurant. Quote, we were kind of upset but then more puzzled. Pooja Kalra said Wednesday. Did I just say Wednesday?
Yes, you did say Wednesday.
I'm sitting here trying to pronounce a name right, and I just went all over. So, Pooja Kalra said Wednesday. What are they going to do with a spoon? She and her husband, Raman Kalra, said the spoon snatching occurred sometime between late Friday and early Saturday. The 15-foot-tall, 4.5-meter spoon stood against the side of the building with the handle nestled in an opening of a roof parapet. Their surveillance camera caught two people appearing to manipulate the screws that held the spoon to a base and then taking off on a small motorbike. That is not what I was expecting them to be in. That seems more like a light-duty pickup caper at least.
It must be plastic then.
I don't know. They were so precise about it, like they had done it before, Raman Kalra said. They just wiggled their way through and made sure the spoon was not damaged. The couple reported the theft to Phoenix police. Sergeant Brian Bauer confirmed officers were called and are investigating. No suspects have identified. Getting another spoon made, delivered, then installed would cost over $7,000, Raman Kalra said.
Man, these single-use plastics are getting out of hand.
I swear to God, man. Can you imagine, the garbage can full of those? Dairy Queen is known for doling out plastic red spoons with their soft-serve blizzards. The Kalras, who are Indian immigrants, moved to Phoenix from Minnesota. That's not where I thought that was going. In 2007, and decided to go into business operating a Dairy Queen. Well, that's kind of obvious.
I'm sure they were in Minnesota after coming over from India, and then they moved to Phoenix.
Yeah, what if not?
Well, I mean, but
But-
that makes sense because an Indian living in Minnesota sounds kind of miserable.
Anyone living in Minnesota
Well,
sounds
yes.
kind of miserable.
Well, except Minnesotans.
They
up
love
there.
it, yeah. Now, they now own 34 franchise locations. This Phoenix one is the only Arizona Dairy Queen with the towering red spoon.
Sounds like a draw to me.
I know. I mean, like, I'd be kind of pissed about losing the spoon. Also, I kind of wish we had a Dairy Queen around here that had a spoon like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The fact that he knew how much it would cost leads me to question, is it a custom-made thing?
I mean, probably. I'm sure there's not a place that just shits out giant red spoons.
Yeah, Mike. The good news is we have a happy ending.
Yeah.
That previous story was from the AP on March 30th. April 3rd, 2023, spoon spotted, Arizona Dairy Queen's big red spoon found. Now, in the pictures, it shows it behind a fence. And then if you click on it, there's a slideshow. And the next picture is a police officer securing it to the roof of his SUV.
And the spoon part is on the back of it. So it looks kind of like a weird catapult.
It
SUV.
does. It looks like a catapult or a Hot Wheel. I love that. It's like,
They
because
should start
whoever
mounting those to all of them.
they should, just to scare people. So
And I guess whoever stole it was tired of, like, cooking their heroin in it.
well, I guess, but Phoenix AP. A giant red spoon that was stolen from an Arizona Dairy Queen and sparked a mystery on social media was found Monday morning, and it's partly thanks to Pokemon Go. You remember when that was like in the news? People were finding dead bodies and shit.
No.
Like people were playing Pokemon Go, and it's like, hey, there's a Pikachu over. A corpse. That was like the thing when Pokemon Go first came out.
I'd never heard of that.
Oh my god, yeah, no, people were finding all kinds of shit.
That's what happens when you get out of the house and actually walk around.
Yeah, it's
You discover
dangerous out there,
things.
man. Fuck that. I'm staying in. So, Michael Foster, 52, was playing the outdoor mobile game when he spotted the 15-foot, 4.5 meter spoon around 7 a.m. It was lying on the ground behind a fence that surrounds a Phoenix middle school baseball field just 2 miles from the scene of the heist.
The heat was too high for those who stole it. The heat was on. They're like, what are we going to do? We got the spoon. We can't keep it. I want to keep it. God damn it. No, we can't keep the spoon. They're going to catch us.
The heat's on us. The first thing I did was send a picture to my wife and say, it's the spoon. She said, call the police, Foster told the Associated Press. I can confirm the Dairy Queen red spoon was located and recovered this morning.
Morging. God, you're just...
I'm not even drinking. You're the one with the podcast juice.
Yes.
Recovered this morning, Sergeant Brian Bowers said in an email Monday. Detectives are continuing to search for the suspects who took the spoon, he added. Police are encouraging the public to submit any tips. A school maintenance man came over and pushed it over the fence to Foster, who handed it to Phoenix police. Quote, I set it down. They never actually did the lifting after we got it over the fence, Foster said. They strapped it to the top of a police cruiser.
This is Arizona. They don't sound that
I'm
southern.
sorry, everybody's got that voice when I read for some reason. It's either that or a New York accent. Foster said nobody else was around and the school was just opening when he saw it. Quote, I did kind of look around and was like, what? One guy did finally come by and was like, is that what I think it is? Yeah, that's a spoon, Foster said. Oh, wow, there's a lot more for having just found a fucking spoon. But, yeah, happy ending. The spoon was found.
It just goes on to recap
the story.
Heist.
Yeah.
Do you think it was like very Ocean's 11 where
Oh.
like have the setup They said they seemed like they were pros at it, so maybe they had
Yeah.
they scoped it out and they were like took
Dun,
pictures
dun, dun, dun,
and
dun.
went back to their garage and did the whole board and
yeah.
with all the pictures and planned out.
Mike, there is one thing I got to read here.
Ooh, and it was the whole thing where you don't see it happen, and then there's just the end, and then it goes to a flashback, all Soderbergh flashback.
Like that remake of The Italian Job.
Just about every Soderbergh does that.
Yeah. Well, owners Raman and Pooja Kalra said last week that they hope to get it back. Getting another spoon made, delivered, and installed would cost over $7,000. They even resorted to creative strategies, such as printing T-shirts for their staff that said, "Where's my spoon?"
Well, Kevin, their spoon is in fact too big.
Oh my God, you're right. My spoon is too big. I actually really want a "Where's my spoon" shirt now.
So apparently the police they weren't taking the spoon back to them. They impounded the spoon because
he had to go pick it up from the police.
Yeah,
What a man, ACAB, man.
they're gonna have to I hope they put a padlock or something on it this time. Make
Or
it a little harder.
or like a air tag or something.
Oh yeah.
And it's Arizona, so you could just drive out there and shoot them. Like that guy with his truck.
Ooh, here's too bad we didn't get on this. Although this one guy's set for life. The couple who own 34 locations also offered a reward of free Blizzard treats for anyone who helped facilitate the spoon's return. So the guy got at least a free Blizzard out of it.
Foster said he doesn't need a reward.
Oh, come on.
Man,
Get
what
that
the
Blizzard.
Look, I'm diabetic. I would still go after some Blizzard, man. I mean, admittedly, yes, it's probably just a Blizzard with barely anything in it. It's got an M&M on top, but still.
My first job was at a Dairy Queen.
I remember. Tell them about that, Mike.
And so it was these sound like nicer owners than the guy that owned my Dairy Queen.
Dude,
Because,
it's been decades, and I still remember those stories.
We got no discount on food when we're
What the
on
fuck?
the shift. Yeah. So you know what we would do? We would ring up the most basic ass dollar hamburger and just make God burger.
Yes.
Double, triple bacon, cheese, and and it was just the burger, and also got fries and everything. So, and also I would go. One of my favorite things, and this is why I'm fat, would be to go into the cooler and get little cupfuls of the cookie dough mix-ins. And
Oh
eat it.
shit, dude.
Yes.
Man, I'm glad I didn't get that
and
job.
the M&M pieces.
Yeah. Now, how did you lose that job again, Mike?
Well, it caught on fire
Yeah,
for the second time.
the second time.
Yeah, the first time I was there, or at
Yeah.
least the first time I know of.
You know what my favorite part about you you being there was you bravely grabbing the fire extinguisher and it wasn't charged.
I don't remember that.
You said you grabbed the fire extinguisher, pulled the thing, you went to you pulled the thing, you
Pulled the
squeezed the
pin,
trigger and nothing happened.
Yeah.
There was nothing
But
in it.
the only thing I don't remember that part, but I do remember that the fire department came. We were, standing by for the fire. But it's a grill, so I guess I should go. It was a fire on the grill, so it's not like
Yes.
the whole store was on fire, but it was
Right.
flaring really bad. Because we were lazy teenagers and didn't always clean the grills like we were supposed to.
Also, the manager / owner was a dickbag.
Yes, he
so.
was. But and so there's this grill's on fire, and the fire department shows up, and we're thinking, yeah, they'll bring their own fire extinguishers in or something. You know what they do?
What's that?
They get our hose from behind the store and just start spraying water on the grill from our hose.
You don't do that to a grease
The
fire.
grill is just flaring up even worse, and everything, and finally it goes
the
out. But yeah, he looked like he was watering his lawn, just kind of holding the hose, just kind of sprinkling it back and forth. Just there's the fire, it's grill, it's flaring up. And but the thing that really took this one out was luckily I wasn't there that day, but the grill flared up again.
Go figure.
If you think that we weren't cleaning the grill as often as we should, what we never ever cleaned was the vent hoods.
Oh,
Which I didn't even know you were supposed to clean those before this happened. But yeah, and so
Yeah, it's new to
the
me.
fire. Well, you think about it, it catches all the grease, and there's like traps and stuff. There's like little mesh stainless steel filters that collect it and all. So yeah, so what happened is the grill flared up and the fire got high enough, it caught the grease in the vent hood on
damn
fire.
it.
And that started burning, in the ceiling.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen.
And so that's what took that Dairy Queen out.
That reminds me of the time, you remember when I worked for the real estate appraiser?
Yeah.
Okay, in the office next door, it used to be a guy that cleaned and repaired shoes, and he had a huge vat of chemicals that he used for like doing something with shoes, and it was just open,
Yeah.
and he had a vent over it that went into the ceiling because it's fucking toxic fumes.
Yes.
Well, they were retarring the roof one time, and somebody flicked a cigarette into that thing, and it went down the vent into the chemicals, burst into flame, and nearly burned the building down.
Jeez.
Yep. So, yeah, fire. Fire's fun.
Yes.
So what have you got for your next one, Mike?
What do I have for my next one? That's the spoon thing. No. Okay, so here's one from yesterday.
Okay, cool.
So, Cape Town, South Africa.
See if you can.
A pilot in South Africa made an emergency landing after discovering a highly venomous cobra hiding under his seat.
Holy shit.
It was a motherfucking snake on a motherfucking plane.
That's
Or for our, censored versions.
monkey
it was
fighting snake on this Monday through Friday plane?
Correct.
Okay.
But
Wow.
Rudolph Aramis had 4 passengers on board the light aircraft during Monday's flight when he felt, quote, something cold slide across his lower back.
Oh my
It
god.
wasn't his legs at first. It was his lower back. He glanced down to see the head of a fairly large Cape cobra receding back under the seat. It's as if my brain didn't know what was going on, he told the Associated Press. After taking a moment to compose himself,
And empty
You
his
think?
drawers.
he informed his passengers of this slippery stowaway. Attention passengers, there's a fucking snake on this plane. If you see it, could you kindly chop its motherfucking head off?
Start screaming, and a stewardess will come and scream with you.
Erasmus
Erasmus, yes.
called air traffic control for permission to make an emergency landing in the town of Welcome in... Oh, I was reading that and now I got it. Welcome. In central South
God
Africa.
damn it. Okay. Welcome.
That's spelled Welkom.
Welcome.
But he still had to fly for another 10 to 15 minutes and land the plane with the snake curled up by his feet. Quote, I kept looking down to see where it was. It was happy under the seat, Erasmus said. I don't have a big fear of snakes, but I normally don't go near them.
I don't like it.
So once they landed, they were met with animal control officers.
Uh-huh.
And the scary thing is once they landed and, everything, they couldn't find the snake. It was just gone.
What? So they burned the plane down, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck?
Yeah, they don't know if it snuck out or went deeper into the plane where they couldn't easily see.
Oh, God.
The engineering company Erasmus works for wanted its plane back in the city of Mbombela. Sorry if I butchered that.
Yeah.
in northern South Africa. So he had to fly it back home, a 90-minute voyage with the possibility that the Cobra was still on board.
You know what? Maybe at this point, get another pilot.
Unsurprisingly, his passengers decided to look for another way to get home.
No shit, huh?
But this time, Erasmus took precautions. He wore a thick winter jacket, he said, wrapped in a blanket around his seat. He had a fire extinguisher, a can of insect repellent, and a golf club within arm's reach in the cockpit.
I just picture him for 90 minutes going, "Ain't no fucking snake in me, motherfucker."
I would
You
say I was
shit.
on high alert, Erasmus said.
I would have had a machete.
The Cobra didn't reappear on that flight, and the plane has now been completely stripped, but still no sign of the snake.
It's in someone's pants. And it's a trouser snake now.
Yes.
Well, that's horrifying. I mean, like, that's literally... I've had nightmares where that happened. Not exactly like I was flying a plane, but like snake. You know?
Snake.
Oh, it's a snake.
Snake.
Oh, God. I just got that. Fuck. I hate that so much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay. That's fun. Fuck. What would you do if you found a snake crawling on you?
Well, I mean, if you don't... Logically... I'll just say this out first. Logically, if you don't make any sudden movements and it came near you... So it's not seeing you as a threat.
You're
at
just
the moment.
warm, basically.
As long as you just don't do anything rash, you
Yeah.
should be okay. But of course, I would also, if I knew it was a highly venomous snake, I would be freaking the fuck out. Because I mean, I'm not afraid of snakes, but I'm afraid of getting bit by something that is highly venomous.
Yes, I have had dreams where I've died from a snake bite. So, yeah, no, fuck snakes.
I've held like non-venomous snakes before. They're fine.
I haven't.
They're cool.
I
I'm cool
haven't.
with snakes.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good for you. I've never had a good experience with them.
You don't remember like you weren't there when trying to think of how to refer to him without naming names.
Is this someone we worked with at Rose's?
No.
Oh.
Old friend of yours, Monkey.
Oh, right. Monkey.
Yeah, when he lived with me, he had found some grass snakes in the yard.
Oh.
And kept them in that display. Remember the display case
Yes.
he had, the big glass thing? He had kept them in there. Did you ever see him in there?
No.
Yeah, those little grass snakes. Those things are adorable because they look like they're like the size of a large earthworm, but they're little
Oh.
snakes and they have little heads. And
Okay.
they're so small they can't bite you.
Yeah. Well, still. Yeah, I guess if I were exposed to that, maybe I'd learn to love snakes, but like I've not had good experience with snakes in general, so. Mostly because I had an asshole cousin and uncle that would like throw rubber snakes at me and act like they were real when I was a small child.
Yeah,
So, yeah, me and snakes don't get along because of that.
yeah. So something I'm not down with.
Tormenting children?
My uncle's wife, I guess I would technically make her my aunt. You know, the uncle I went to high school with?
Yes.
His wife. For a while,
remember.
one time I visited them, she had tarantulas.
Oh, no.
Like 4 or 5 of them.
Now, I personally...
That I can't jive with.
I can't
Big-ass
jive with
spiders.
that, but my nephew had one, and it bit him,
Oh, yeah.
and then the spider died. Because apparently my nephew's poisonous, which makes sense since he's related to me. You know. But, yeah. I fuck snakes in general. You know, not specific, but in general.
Yes.
So, you know, if you keep snakes, great. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you can do that. I got my own personal beef. Now, this is a fun one, and it's kind of a bookend piece to are really want to eat extinct species.
Yes.
This article from the AP News, once again, this one's by Mike Corder, came out March 28th. Elephant in the dining room. Startup makes mammoth meatball. Throw another mammoth on the Barbie? An Australian company on Tuesday lifted the glass cloche on a meatball made of lab-grown cultured meat using the genetic sequence from the long-extinct pachyderm, saying it was meant to fire up public debate about the high-tech treat. The launch in an Amsterdam science museum came just days before April 1st, so there was an elephant in the room. Is this for real? Quote, "This is not an April Fool's joke," said Tim Noakesmith, founder of the Australian startup Vow. "This is a real innovation." Cultivated meat, also called cultured or cell-based meat, is made from animal cells. Livestock doesn't need to be killed to produce it, which advocates say is better not just for the animals, but also for the environment. Vow used publicly available genetic information from the mammoth, filled missing parts with genetic data from its closest living relative, the African elephant, and inserted it into a sheep cell, Noakesmith said. Given the right conditions in a lab, the cell multiplied until there were enough to roll up into the meatball. More than 100 companies around the world are working on cultivating meat products, many of them startups like Vow. Experts say that if the technology is widely adopted, it could vastly reduce the environmental impact of global meat production in the future. Currently, billions of acres of land are used for agriculture worldwide. But don't expect this to land on plates around the world anytime soon. So far, tiny Singapore is the only country to have approved cell-based meat for consumption. Vow is hoping to sell its first product there, a cultivated Japanese quail meat, later this year. The mammoth meatball is a one-off and has not been tasted even by its creators, nor is it planned to be put into commercial production. Instead, it was presented as a source of protein that would get people talking about the future of meat. Now, we could keep going with this article, but I want to talk about the fact that why even do it if you're not going to eat it?
I mean, like they said, it was just, a publicity stunt.
Okay, sure, but are you telling me that nobody in the lab maybe took a little bit?
Okay, oh God. I mean, well, so...
Oh, it was slow-baked, then the outside was cooked with a blowtorch, and they said it smelled good.
So... I don't know. I mean, it just depends on how cavalier they were. Because, like, for instance, on the space station, there's been several experiments where they did things like one of the most infuriating, it seems to me, was where they baked cookies on the International Space Station.
Okay.
But it was part of an experiment, so they didn't get to eat them.
What the shit?
They just brought them back for study.
Fuck you. Cook 6, bring back 5, eat 1.
Yeah, that was but also where they're growing, like, tomatoes and things, but they're not.
Yeah, but nobody ever, well, okay, I say that, but I know people that have done this, but, like, I'm not going to smell a tomato and be like, gotta eat that. Cookies, the smell of baking cookies and then not getting any. I mean, like, that'd be the first murder in space.
I mean, sure, they were testing out, baking methods in space, but yeah, when you're in a kitchen, when you're cooking in the kitchen, a lot of times it's experimenting, and you eat your failures.
Yes, well, for a given value of failure.
I mean, like slightly overcooked cookie.
Oh yeah, sure, okay.
A misshapen cookie.
The cookie that looks like perhaps it was removed from a patient. Yes. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. But, like, okay, here's the thing. We both agreed that, like, fucking dodo, probably delicious. Mankind contributed to the death of the mammoth because it was so goddamn tasty, and there was so much of it. It was a major food source for our species while we coexisted. I want mammoth.
Yeah.
I want to eat mammoth more than I want to eat dodo.
I don't
Because
know.
the other thing is, they said when they cooked it, it smelled good. Quote, the folks who were there, they said the aroma was something similar to another prototype that we produced before, which was crocodile, Noka Smith said. So super fascinating to think that adding the protein from an animal that went extinct 4,000 years ago gave it a totally unique and new aroma, something we haven't smelled as a population for a very long time. I'm sitting here going, what if it's a genetic thing? Like, you're just like, this is the best thing I've ever smelled in my entire life. I have to eat it. I'm just saying, I want to eat this damn thing.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And yeah, I mean, like, they had to... Somebody ate it and just didn't say anything.
I mean, you'd think
You would think.
just a little nibble, or they
Just, yeah, like...
obviously they made this meatball a certain size. Well, who's to say they didn't make it just slightly smaller and have a little bit and just like
Or made
cook
it
that little
slightly
bit?
bigger, you mean?
Well, no. So you have X amount of meat that was going to go into the meatball.
Right.
Well, you're making the meatball. You make the meatball X minus like 5%.
And you take that 5% and you cook it, and everybody gets a little bit. And maybe they...
Even if you don't even swallow it.
Right,
you just
right.
kinda Num 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 and spit it out. Do the ashins.
Oh, fuck that.
Well,
Okay,
It is.
okay.
It is. There is such a thing as like we don't know how safe it is to eat. I mean, theoretically, it should be fine. I mean, because the only thing
Right.
they changed was the genetics. But maybe the mammoth DNA caused the cell to create arsenic. Who knows?
What if we need mammoth meat to go to the next evolutionary level? Like, maybe that's what caused mankind to evolve to where we are, is eating mammoth, and the reason we're stuck right now is because we haven't eaten mammoth in 4,000 years.
I don't know. I think we're probably well beyond what we were when we were eating mammoth.
Okay, can we accept that I don't want to eat a mammoth?
Yes. I
Okay.
can accept that.
Okay, Mike, what if you did like a turducken of extinct species? Like you
I
had...
mean, how
there's a
big are you-
dodo in the mammoth, but like, what's the dodo in?
So the dodo
It's got to be within the
would be
time
in-
frame of humans.
would be inside a Tasmanian tiger.
I kind of think the dodo's bigger than the tiger.
I thought the Tasmanian tiger was like large dog sized.
It's not that big, I don't think.
A dodo's about the size of it's bigger than a chicken, but not like
It's-
a lot bigger than.
I don't know, man. You look up pictures, dodos are pretty big.
Well, it's first to be a carrier pigeon inside a dodo. Inside,
Mike, dodos were 3 feet tall, roughly.
okay, hold on. Oh, 29 to 51 pounds. Yeah, they're way heavier than I thought.
Okay, the thylacine was only like 39 inches long.
Well, still heavy.
39 to 51
In general,
inches.
it was 66 pounds, whereas a dodo topped out at about 51 pounds.
So, okay, what we do is we cook a Tasmanian tiger, fold it up, stuff it in the dodo, then we cook the dodo.
No, you put a carrier pigeon in the dodo.
Oh, I like this better. Okay,
And the
passenger
dodo-
pigeon.
Well, I thought the carrier pigeon was extinct too.
I thought it was a passenger pigeon.
I thought they were both extinct.
I don't know, but the passenger pigeon I'm more interested in because,
Yeah.
Okay, so that goes in the dodo.
I can't think of anything slightly bigger than the dodo then that's extinct.
Okay, well, we take the dodo and we just shove it up the ass of the mammoth, right?
No, you need some intermediaries there because the mammoth's pretty big. We're not prepared enough for this. I don't know extinct animals that much.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you could find some intermediate animals that to bridge the dodo to mammoth.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. We just have to look into it. We'll try to have something for next week. And maybe David's got an idea. I'm sure he's sitting there screaming right now at us going, what about the blah, blah, blah bird?
Yeah.
So, we'll get back to that. So, all right. So, I'm upset that they didn't eat the meatball. They made a mammoth meatball and nobody fucking ate it. And the thing is, in the picture, Mike, there's little pieces that have fallen off the meatball, and I'm like, it's asking for it.
Oh, here we go. So, how about a sea cow? Stellar's sea cow.
That's a sea cow's a manatee, isn't
Yeah.
it? Is it an extinct manatee?
Stellar's, yeah. Sea, it's just,
Okay. Hey,
extinct.
hey, that works because now we've got a bird, a sea
Something.
mammal,
Yeah,
and a giant mammal, a land mammal.
yeah.
Okay, that works. Ooh. Or how about the Yangtze River dolphin?
Maybe.
Just a thought.
So, passenger pigeon in a dodo in a Stellar's sea cow inside a woolly mammoth.
My mouth's watering right now.
And maybe since there's plenty of room, inside that mammoth next to the sea cow, you can also stuff like a Tasmanian wolf
Sure, why not?
next to it.
Tiger.
Well, it says Tasmanian wolf too is extinct.
Oh, damn! They just killed everything in Tasmania, didn't they?
The Tasmanian wolf is tiny. Wow.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's like a puppy.
It's like
Is it like that adorable little kitten cat that's like, like a wild animal, but it looks like a kitten?
it's like the size of like a fashionable purse dog. It looks like.
Okay, this I need to see. Oh my god. Oh my god, I want one.
If you could like keep it in a purse, except it's kind of lanky.
Right. Still want one.
Yeah.
So, what else you got for us, Mike? Have you got another story?
So did I ever? I can't remember. Did I talk about last time? Did I talk about the sushi terrorists?
No. We talked about this in private.
Okay, I know what talked about it. I couldn't remember where it was, but another one from the AP. That Japanese police have arrested 2 men who posted a video on social media showing one eating pickled ginger with his chopsticks directly from a communal container at a famous beef bowl restaurant chain, part of a series of pranks that have hit sushi chains and become known as, quote, sushi terrorism.
God damn it. I kind of want to be a sushi terrorist and I just want to eat sushi and then threaten to keep doing it.
You just want to be, who was that, was that Louis Anderson that did the bit about the buffet?
No, that was John Panay.
You go
now.
Yeah, Kevin wants that, but just the sushi version.
Yes. You'll be here for an hour. Oh, you're dead.
Well, that's Chinese, so in Japanese would be, I can't even do a Japanese.
Yeah, forget it. It'll be offensive if we do it. It's okay.
Gaijin, get out. You eat too much sushi.
Oh, wow. We're going to get in deep trouble for this. So let's keep going. What else? What tell me about these guys.
So, I mean, this is kind of a trend. This isn't the first one because this is like a beef bowl place. The first incident I heard about was a conveyor belt sushi. But it's the same thing, just doing, doing unhygienic kind of, it's basically the kind of shit you would do as a teenager. But
This sounds like
the fact
shit
that it's happening, it's just now starting to happen in Japan, means they're going down the fucking toilet, I guess.
Oh, yeah. You know what it reminds me of? Shavs.
Yeah.
Shavs. They don't do anything in particular except like, I'm in your face.
Like drinking directly out of the soy sauce bottle.
Okay, you deserve what you get for that.
And, messing with the conveyor belt sushi,
Yeah, like
or
licking it or something.
Yeah, licking it or picking like one roll off of the conveyor belt as it passes by.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd be as mad about this as I am. Like, you're ruining it.
So
you're
I thought
ruining
these
it for the whole goddamn restaurant.
Here's a problem.
Uh-huh.
Here's another problem. I thought
Yeah?
these were teenagers.
Oh, no.
Police arrested Shimazu, 35,
Oh,
in
fucking
March.
wow.
And Oka, 34, this week. Both
These-
admitted the charges against them.
These motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like-
if convicted of obstructing business, they could face up to 3 years in prison
Man, I'll tell you what, Japan doesn't fuck around.
and fines up to $3,800 for property destruction.
Holy shit.
Oh, no, it's $3,800 for the obstructing, and for property destruction, another 3 years and $2,280. So they, if not served concurrently, they're looking at up to 6 years and almost $6,000 in fines,
Jesus.
all for taking the pickled ginger with their eating chopsticks,
Wow.
because you're supposed to use a serving utensil.
Yeah. Jesus.
I mean, yes, it's unhygienic and gross.
And mean.
That's wow. That's some stiff penalties.
It really is. So, oh God, I don't know, man. I feel upset about it. And you know, it makes sense because, like, hasn't the birth rate in Japan, like, dropped way the fuck off? So, of course, it's going to be 30-year-olds.
Well, I mean,
They're going through arrested development.
It's not that there's no one being
I
born.
know,
It's just
it's-
their birth rate is, I think, slightly below replacement. So they're,
From what I understand, it's like that everywhere right now.
well, it's like that in most developed civilizations.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it plateaus, and
I feel like in modern society, that's kind of where it leads.
yeah, I
So-
mean, well, there's just not the kind of drive to reproduce.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's
there's
not-
also people like me that are like, I do not want to put a
think
kid through being
also, I
parented
think
by
comes
me.
down to part of it is that, at least what I would think, and from my own experience, is it's just you're too fucked up, like not mentally but socially.
Oh,
It's
we're
like,
in a
you don't-
terrible world.
You don't
right
have
now.
enough resources. You don't feel like yeah, I mean, you're developed enough that if you do want some hanky panky, more than likely you can take precautions and not have
Right.
accidental.
Mm-hmm.
And you just never gets to be a time where you feel like hey, let's have a kid, because
Right.
you're on the grind. You're treadmilling.
Right.
Well, have a kid. Oh, when we have a house. Oh, when we have, some retirement savings. That shit just doesn't come as much as it used to.
Right.
That's what she said.
Oh, go. It's terrible.
But the incident at this restaurant came just weeks after a series of pranks at sushi chains that became known as sushi terrorism. Sushi terrorism.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah, they crashed an airplane into a sushi roll.
In one case, police in February arrested 3 people on suspicion of obstructing business by licking the top of a communal soy sauce container and grabbing sushi by hand from the revolving conveyor belt at a restaurant in central Japan.
Oh, what the fuck?
So yeah, so they've been doing it for the views, man,
Oh, wow.
which further cements social media in its current guise. I don't say social media is completely bad, but in its current guise, it is definitely the worst of humanity.
Oh, definitely.
Like, I think there is value in some form of social media, but we need to find that right,
Yeah. I feel like old internet might have been the way to go.
I think yeah, I mean, when we had social media, it
Yeah,
was,
it's just-
forums, and
yeah.
there was consequences for your stupid shit.
Yeah.
There were rules, and clear moderation. I think
Right.
that's part of the problem is
Get corporations off the internet.
in well, not even just corporations, but in current social media's pandering to advertisers. They don't want to limit their reach. Therefore, they don't want to limit anyone enough. They don't want to.
Right.
I think a good model for social media would be something you have to like pay into, so you have accountability.
Right.
And if you fuck up,
Like, say, a website where you have to pay $10 to join the forums.
yeah, I mean, it worked pretty damn well.
It
I
really
think.
did.
I mean, it made you have a consequence.
Yeah.
And it meant that every 5-year-old or 5-year-old, every 12-year-old can't jump in,
Right.
and post racial slurs all over the place and just come back with a parachute once they get banned.
Yeah. So now that we're done being old men.
Old? Okay, I guess that counts.
Yeah, I mean, the whole old internet thing. By the way, speaking of, I'm sure you can hear it. We're currently in the tin shack tonight. It is raining,
Yes.
and you can obviously hear it. I feel like we should be telling ghost stories right now. Ooh, spooky.
So,
I'm out of stories, Mike. Have you got anything else?
yeah, I was going to say I have one more little thing I came across in dredging for the weird news.
Okay, cool.
So, I don't know if I've said it on here before, but I was born and raised up through middle school in Louisiana.
Oh, we've talked about it.
And so a Louisiana woman recaptures the world record with a 5.41 foot afro.
Whoa.
World record afro. That's circumference, obviously.
Yeah, no, still.
Yeah.
Wow.
So April 6th, a Louisiana woman recaptured the Guinness World Record with her afro hairstyle. Was measured at 9.8 inches tall, 10.4 inches wide, with a 5.41 foot circumference.
Holy shit.
Avon Dugas, 47, of Reserve, first held the world record for largest afro on a living person, female, in 2010, when her hair had a circumference of 4 feet 4 inches. The record was then broken in 2020 by New York woman Simone Williams, whose hair measured 4 feet 10 inches in circumference. Guinness World Records has confirmed Dugas has now recaptured the title. She has been growing her hair out for 24 years.
Wow.
She says she was tired of using dangerous chemicals to permanently straighten her hair. Those chemicals have now been linked with cancer, and there's a major lawsuit, so she's glad she left them behind years ago. She says she wears her hair in a variety of styles, but the afro comes out for special occasions because it's very difficult to deal with, apparently.
Yeah.
With that much afro, I mean,
Yeah.
that's quite a lot.
I will say I'm all about people that, like African Americans having natural hair.
Yeah.
That is great.
But, there's a little video accompanying this article if you want to see, but yeah, it's huge, and I can see how, just getting into a car would be difficult.
Oh, obviously. That's why you have like a headband or like I almost said tarp, and that's ridiculous. And the rain just got louder, so fantastic.
But yeah, so bringing it back to my hometown, well, not hometown, but home state.
Yeah.
I have no idea where did she say she was from? I read it. Reserve,
Yes.
Louisiana. Don't know where that is.
I don't know. Interesting.
So that's it. Do we have another section to go on to?
Well, I've got a fun little thing I've been wanting to do. It's sort of like X, but it's called Reddit already. As in, it's a pun or a play on words.
Yes.
I've started going on Reddit more frequently.
I'm sorry.
Same. But one of the Reddits I'm in is r/Discordian, go figure. Like David said, I've become a zealot. So There are various fake holidays that the Discordians observe, like Moosemas and stuff like that. But one of my favorites, one of the ones I just learned about is called Maybe Day 2023. I'm like, what's that? And there's a link to the PrincipiaDiscordia.com forums and the thread Maybe Day 2023. And it's got like a Loch Ness Monster and like a neat little logo. And it says you can take... It's basically celebrating the work of Robert Anton Wilson, who was the he's the author of the Illuminatus trilogy. And he is like one of the major Discordian writers. And I was like, I wonder what the deal is. So I go to maybeday.net. No, I didn't. I thought I did. Hang on one sec. I'm going there. But yeah, you go, and I'm like, ooh, what is it? And Mike, Discordianism is old.
Yeah.
You know, it started in 59 or 58, depending on how drunk the guys were. And I go to the newtrajectories.com or new-trajectories.com website. Like, it turns out Maybe Day is a fucking web ring.
Yeah.
And it's still active. And I'm kind of like, that tracks with how old this shit is. And, I mean, there's like, I'm just blown away that it's a web ring.
Yeah. God, I haven't thought about those in ages.
I tell you, Jesus Christ, it sounds like we're gonna die almost with the rain. And now you're molesting a cat.
Well, she's like getting into stuff because I won't let her on my lap because I'm podcasting.
Hey, so I just saw the picture of the lady with the afro.
Yes.
That's badass.
Yeah.
And that's these days. I remember photos of people in my sister's high school yearbook with bigger afros than that.
Oh, yeah.
But that's current. Also, that really works on her, and she is rocking the shit out of that thing. So, awesome. So, Mike, my friend,
Yes.
my co-host,
Yes.
my amigo, my heterosexual life partner.
We're going a little far there, but okay.
We got questions.
Okay. Cat has
So-
questions. Cat's asking me, why the fuck aren't you picking me up again?
Let's see. So, we've got a backlog from the past
Oh, wow.
few weeks.
I thought we just didn't have any.
No, we ran long the last few times.
Okay, makes sense.
So, and we don't do them on regular episodes now, so it's just on Weekend Weird episodes. So, I'll ask questions, and we'll talk about them.
Sure.
And
They've got questions. We have dumb looks.
if you have answers, we would love to provide some questions for you. So, Ghost Forge, starting with Ghost Forge, as always. Given how little we know about the collapse of many ancient civilizations, do you think that there's room for the supernatural or the sudden lack thereof to be involved? Like, do you think supernatural stuff could be the cause of the collapse of a civilization?
I don't know. There's usually pretty well documented reasons of people being fucking idiots to
Oh, absolutely.
explain them.
Like, okay, though, Atlantis allegedly was supernatural.
That
it was
would be-
either
that-
it was either sank by what's his name? The fucking
Poseidon?
Poseidon. Thank you, Jesus
Neptune.
Christ. It was Poseidon because it's Greek. Was the source of it. So Poseidon sank it, or they fucked up their Oregon energy crystals by fucking dinosaurs.
And yeah, the crystals were needed to keep the island afloat or some shit.
Something. I don't know. But
Yeah,
they
no,
were
if-
fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah, Atlantis, sure, it itself is a supernatural thing.
Right.
So if its society collapsed, then yes, it was probably supernaturally caused as well.
Yes, but like as far as like real civilizations, like a lot of times it was just environmental or shit. We can't grow food here because nobody had figured out like crop rotations.
Yeah. or just
I mean, there's a couple of things where like there are rumors of like some pygmies that were killed by supernaturally large storks in Australia and the Polynesian Islands, but that's dumb.
yeah.
So if you want to go with pygmies killed by giant birds and they were at war with them for centuries, it's not really supernatural. It's still just weird.
Yeah, that would just be kind of natural.
It's strange, but natural.
Yeah, it's strange, but it's just natural.
And,
Or like,
and we are talking about storks with the big flaps. I just picture like pygmies in the flaps screaming.
Yeah.
Ah! In these big fleshy bags under the bills. So that's just me. Let me see. Know how, I think is how you pronounce this. I apologize. Fairly recent member of the forums, I think. Forums. Old internet kicking in there. Anyway, it's spelled Nohua. Know how? Anyway, their question is, how do you all feel about gravity wells? Like the idea an area is just naturally cursed in some way. Now, I'm familiar with the cosmological concept of gravity wells. I guess they're talking about like the weird spot.
Yeah, that sounds like they're talking about like a bad juju spot, like a ley line or some shit.
Or like a fairy ring or something where shit just happens.
Can I go first?
Yes.
Doesn't exist. Next question.
Okay,
No.
God damn it.
You go ahead, but I had to get mine in there.
I feel being the woo, having my foot dangling in the woo as I do, I do feel like some areas sort of accumulate negative vibes. I think that is a thing. And I think maybe sometimes that's where hauntings come from. I don't know. Cause like I never want to go back in my grandmother's house in Vicksburg because that woman was just straight up evil and you could feel it even when she wasn't there.
So here's my question always with this kind of stuff. What's it tied to?
I don't know.
So, because is it the location? Because location's always changing.
And location is relative in the cosmic sense.
If like with the house analogy, if you
is it the materials?
If you move the house, would it move the phenomenon?
Yeah, that's a question. Is it soaked into the walls?
And if you took the house apart and like built 30 different houses with parts of the same material, would it all get the same thing?
That goes into the idea of a haunted object, which there have been situations of hauntings reported where like material from the previous haunted house was used in the construction of a new house. Like the door, I don't remember where it is. There's some place that has the door of the house where the Manson family killed what's her name?
Yeah.
And that house has got some fucked up vibes going on. So I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe it soaks into the material somehow.
But so the problem also is that there's so much people thinking of no, how am I trying to say this?
It's all bullshit?
That people already have fucked up interpretations and feelings about things anyway. It's like you can't. I don't know. My bullshit detectors are screaming, but I don't have a way to articulate.
I understand. I totally understand where you're coming from, and I would totally agree with you, except for just personal experience. And that's the only thing I've got to throw at that. I can't.
But your personal experience is from when you were, a kid.
Sure.
And you already
but
knew.
I did go back as a teenager.
But you already had history there.
Yes,
that's what you're feeling is your past emotions.
But other people said just going in that house, it felt wrong. So, I don't know. It's, again, this is all just personal experience and belief.
Probably just, was uncomfortable in there. Like,
I mean, shit.
probably smelled like old feet.
It could be black mold.
That too.
I don't know, but that's just a guess. I'm, you know. Also, again, this is my belief. So, and there's stuff I want to believe and don't, and then there's stuff I want to believe and I believe it for my own reasons. So that's just me.
And I mean, just looking old and creepy too makes people feel creepy.
It is.
Like when I went to that haunted prison.
Oh
it was
yeah,
old
Pennsylvania,
and,
right?
It was old and dilapidated, and
yeah,
looked like
that's the famous one,
a
right?
Gothic insane asylum.
Yeah.
So
there's some places that just feel creepy because of reasons.
Just going in there was a little. I mean, I didn't feel like scared or anything.
Sure.
It was definitely felt weird just because it was a new place that was
right.
Really old and was a prison. So it's already just from the get-go has weird connotations and just everything looks off from what you're used to. But then again, a hospital gives me the same vibes.
Some hospitals do.
All hospitals do. They just.
I'm talking about me.
I'm just saying they're very. Nobody goes into a hospital and feels comfortable.
There's no happy stories in a hospital except for birth.
There are, but no, because people get cured of stuff.
Okay, sure, but there's a lot of dead people.
But you go into a hospital and inevitably it just feels weird because it's a very sterile, clinical place that you don't have any good associations with. It's like a mall. Like a mall during the day feels normal. A mall at night with no people in it feels weird.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it's outside your normal. Okay, here's a good thing. I worked security nights a lot. Like
you're talking
years.
about liminal spaces, basically.
Yeah. So I got used to these buildings at night with nobody in them.
Oh yeah,
at first it was a little creepy because they're just big empty buildings, but that was the norm. And it got it was weird when people were there to me.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. And I had the same thing when I worked at the mall. You go in before hours and it's empty as hell. And suddenly you realize I'm just in a giant enclosed space.
But I think you missed the point I was saying is that
it got weird when there were people there.
Because I was used to it being empty.
Yeah.
That was kind of like I was there at night when, nobody was there. So the few times I had to work into business hours, it's like, God, all these people are around. They're just like,
get the fuck away. Get out. Yeah. No, I understand. So Holly has a question. And she asks, does anyone work or has previously worked in a haunted location? I had another incident with Pan Phantasma today, and I'm wondering how often it happens to people. She works at a Panera Bread, I believe. So that's why the Pan Phantasma. Rose's was haunted.
Okay.
Like, somebody died there. And there were a lot of weird things that would happen, except when you worked there.
I was a stabilizer.
Dude, we talked about this in a previous episode. The weird shit that happens in my life has gone down since you and I have moved in together. So, thank you for that. But, weird shit happened at Rose's all the time. Something would ring the call buttons at the old registers while we were waiting outside to be let in the mornings. Weird shit would happen on the third floor. It was usually up there, in the layaway area.
Yeah.
Or where we kept the shelves. Weird shit would happen. Other stock guys would tell me about weird shit, and I had weird shit happen. I had I went around the corner at Christmas time. There's just layaways all over the floor. And when I came back around the corner, it was like the books in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
They were just stacked to the ceiling. And I literally walked around the corner, grabbed a box, came back, and the stuff I climbed over was stacked up. And I freaked the fuck out and ran. And I still don't know what happened because I was the only stock guy there.
I mean, I try not to but
I had a psychotic episode. Is that where you're going?
no, it's just so all these things of people seeing things mysteriously happen, but no in progress happening.
Yeah.
Probably means it was just, someone stacked it up, or you just didn't notice it was stacked up.
Like I said, I had to climb over them to get to where I was going. And then when I came around the corner, the piles were stacked to the side. And I'm like,
maybe you did it and forgot.
in 30 seconds. No,
Yes.
Nah.
They'll also make a lot of noise if, it was stacked quick.
I would have thought so too. But, again, this is weird. So I don't have an explanation. I don't think I did it. I don't know.
I mean, the amount of times I forgot I did something and did something.
Yeah, but I was younger. I wasn't that absent-minded back then. Now, yes, totally. I would fully admit, yeah, I probably did. But like back then, I don't know.
But I can't say I've worked anywhere that I knew was haunted or lived anywhere I knew was haunted. Or, was purported to be haunted.
Well, Clark says the store's haunted, but I have seen no evidence of that.
I think you'd probably say anything's haunted. I don't
Who,
know.
Clark?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But I haven't seen any proof or evidence of it.
It is old, and it was like,
a lot of other things.
it was a nightclub, so there's definitely bodies.
Oh, there's
there.
somebody died of a cocaine OD.
In like the bathroom or something.
Oh, sure,
Or,
yeah.
the first liquor store that was there was like apparently run by people that had drug ties.
Oh, yeah, they sold it. Yeah.
So, yeah, who knows? I mean, there's definitely some death in there somewhere.
Right.
But,
So, yeah. So Sam has a question. Mm-hmm. Popular TV shows as mass chaos ritual. Yes. Specifically, The Littles.
Well, that was more of propaganda.
Yeah, okay, fair, but...
That was Scientology propaganda. There's a difference.
Okay. Fair, but I still think, like, it kind of works in that same... Because chaos...
Muppet Babies.
Yeah, well, chaos magic is definitely using stuff that normally might not be considered magic. It's all about intent, and I feel like it was inadvertently a chaos magic ritual trying to convert people to Scientology, but that's just it. We're arguing semantics at this point, but it's still like a mass attempt at something.
Well, yeah. But,
Yeah. Now, Ghost
at this point, you're just, you're just calling...
Everything's magic.
You're just saying that propaganda is chaos magic.
Kinda.
But Kevin...
Chaos magicians would say it is.
Kevin, you're not immune to propaganda. I mean, propaganda is a legit thing, and just saying it's chaos magic is kind of dumb.
Sure. Fair.
I mean, propaganda is... I mean, it's there just like advertising. It exists because it works.
Right.
And that's just psychology.
Yeah.
Nothing magical about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is like a psychological... you know what? We'll save that for the episode on chaos magic we're planning. But
it's like saying my flamethrower is pyro magic. I mean,
okay, yeah, I could see that. I can't think of one offhand. Then that is, I mean,
just because in this case you're just talking about magic being, something you don't understand the mechanism of.
Well, I mean, I understand propaganda and advertising.
Yeah.
So technically, no. I guess it's not then. But I can't think of a TV show that was a mass chaos magic ritual.
I can.
What?
It was a Knight Rider convincing us David Hasselhoff was a good actor.
Ooh, damn, son. I'm going to go with that one. I like that. Now, the funny thing is, Ghostforge followed that up, said, Sam, I'll see your Chaos Magic popular TV and raise you children's sing-along TV shows that are tools to summon elder things. And I got an answer for that, joke or serious, whatever. Have you got one?
I was going to say, if that was possible, it would have already happened, and Barney the Purple
That's
Destroyer
exactly
would have destroyed us.
what I was going to say is Barney. Barney's
or
my
Blue's
answer.
Clues.
No, Blue's Clues. No, Blue's Clues is fine.
I was going to say, but if it was possible to summon something with children's television, it would have already happened with those.
It was an attempt.
Those super popular.
Yeah. I'm not saying it was successful. I'm just saying it was an
or
attempt.
Teletubbies.
It's a tool to do it, but it didn't work. Teletubbies. Oh, God. Those are eldritch monsters.
Yeah. Tinky Winky.
Poe.
Ookie Bookie. I don't know what their other names are.
It's
you only know Tinky Winky and Poe.
Tinky
The
Winky,
other
Poe,
two.
Lala,
Lala, yeah.
and
Carmichael.
I think it's Mephistopheles.
Carmichael.
Carmichael.
Yes.
Right, It's a Tinky Winky, Lala, Poe, and Carmichael. Those are the Teletubbies. But no, Barney's obviously an attempt to summon an eldritch horror, and it didn't work because Ghoster never showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Kick-Assatron asked, will the Bat Squatch return to give us another warning of impending doom, or is he chill now? Which, Bat Squatch, Mothman, it depends. I mean, I don't know. We've got like this weird thing going on at O'Hare still, where there's still sightings of a large black winged something that they call a Birdman, which Mothman didn't look like a moth, Mike.
Yeah.
They called him Mothman because the Batman TV show was popular.
Yeah.
Mothman was a bird dude.
Okay.
So, the descriptions of the creature that are being spotted by the baggage handlers at O'Hare lines up with the original Mothman sightings. So, yeah, I think something, there's something going on. Sure, why not? I don't think he's chill, is what I'm getting down to. How about you? Give me your serious answer is it's all bullshit. I know that. Give me your joke answer.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of got nothing here.
Okay.
Sorry.
You think he's out for Meatloaf?
I mean, maybe it's just Nookie.
Oh, he's out for Nookie.
Yeah.
Well, he will eat your entire ass at a Denny's.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. I don't know. I like the term Bat Squatch.
He's just cruising for some ass.
Cruising for ass. Yeah. Yeah, I've told you about what Bat Squatch is, right?
Probably, but
It's just a Bigfoot with bat wings.
oh god, that's even dumber than I expected it to be.
What were you expecting with a name like Bat Squatch?
I don't know, man.
It's kind of. Oh, don't you remember that song by the Smashing Pumpkins? Bigfoot with bat wings. Yeah. It was a good song. Well, that's all the questions we got. Mike, have you got anything else you want to follow up with?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, well, before we do close, I want to thank one of our co-workers, Juan, has been giving us books lately as he's cleaning out his garage, and a surprising number of them are super relevant to the show. We have got Smokey and the Falk Monster from him, like an original first edition. That is, the first editions are extremely rare because they were not a big run. It's written by one of the witnesses of the Falk Monster. David lost his shit when I sent him pictures of this thing. And he also gave us a great book that's going to come in handy when we do the episode about famous skeptics. It's called Flim Flam. It's by the amazing Randy.
Yeah, I should read that one.
It's in the other room. I'll bring it to you. It's James Randi, and it's all about how psychic shit is fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get him, Randy.
Yeah. And it also advertises one of his other books about just an entire book shitting on Uri Geller, which I am all about that, man. Like, I'm all about psychic stuff, but, like, not that guy. Or, like, John Edwards. So, I just want to thank Juan for, those books. So, yeah, no, we may come back to Falk after I read... Oh, my God, excuse me. Hiccups. I may come back to Falk after I've read that book, but man, it's not an easy read. But very first sentence in the book is, I'm not a writer. And I'm like, thank God for honesty. Not like these guys that can't write and then act like they can write. So anyway, thank you everyone for listening. We both really appreciate it. I'm sure David does too, even though right now David is a listener. So I'll just say you can find us, you can find everything you need to know about the podcast at supernatpod.rocks. You can find us on, what's the thing called? Mastodon. We're at supernatpod at horrorhub.club. You can also, in our bio there, find links to our individual Mastodon accounts. That's about it for plugs, other than, join us on our Patreon. And, Mike, have you got anything to plug?
Gosh, I don't know. I really need to come up with something to do with this section. Like, I don't have any solo projects, per se. But, I don't know. Let me think on that.
Okay. You should start writing again.
I know, but I'm lazy.
I mean, hell, I've started writing.
I'm lazy.
I know. Well, anyway, thanks for listening. We will see you next time. So until then, stay safe and stay frosty. Goodbye.
Good night.
Meow, 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 meow.
The cat's gone, so I can't make her meow or anything.
God damn it. You let her get away.